It's been a long time since we've seen Fox McCloud and the rest of his team in action. Nintendo's StarFox franchise, which first launched over 20 years ago on the Super Nintendo, last saw a console release nearly a decade ago on the GameCube with Star Fox Assault. In fact, it's been 8 years since we saw a new entry into the series with Star Fox Command for the Nintendo DS. Sorry, we don't count a 3DS remake of Star Fox 64 as new here at Pop Fiction. This latest entry will take us into another long-neglected Nintendo franchise, the high-octane world of F-Zero. Believe it or not, these two series actually share a link to each other in the form of a common character, James McCloud, father to Fox McCloud. In the StarFox universe, James McCloud was the original leader of the StarFox team, along with Peppy Hare and Pigma Dengar. James was betrayed by Pigma and fell into the hands of the maniacal Andross, an exiled scientist banished to the barren planet of Venom for conducting dangerous experiments that threatened the safety of Corneria, the fourth planet in the Lilat system.
We need your help, StarFox. Andross has declared war.
In F-Zero, a character named James McCloud also exists. Though he's not present in the original game, he debuted in F-Zero X for the N64 in 1998, returning in 2003 for F-Zero GX on the GameCube. Though he takes on a human form rather than an anthropomorphic fox, his outfit and even his racer bear a striking resemblance to the Star Fox counterpart. While some will believe this to be a mere Easter egg, we actually have another theory. It's a result of piecing together different bits of information from the various backstories from each game, along with other narrative documents, including the Star Fox comics published in Nintendo Power back in the 1990s. So buckle up your seatbelts. This is going to be one bumpy ride. This is an unusual premise for an episode of Pop Fiction, but we felt the nature of this mystery was appropriate to investigate. Like some episodes before this one, there isn't something to test out so much as we needed to dig into the matter with old-fashioned detective work. Before that, we should explain the basis for our theory. In the original Star Fox, there are two hidden levels you can only access under special conditions. The first is the awesome black hole, which you can access on the second stage of Route 1, the asteroid belt. The easiest way to trigger the entrance to the secret level is to be in the cockpit view mode and fly close to a set of spinning asteroids midway through the level before blasting the orange rock in the middle. This will trigger an asteroid with a grinning face to appear. Shoot it until a black hole graphic appears in its place, and fly into it. This level is a debris field of lost ships and machinery. There are 3 warp gates that will take you out of the black hole, otherwise the level keeps looping endlessly. While it's a bizarre level, it's the description of it before you begin the mission that's of interest. General Pepper not only describes it as a space graveyard created by Andross's experiments, but also the place where Fox's father vanished. Now, we're not going to get too technical here, but there are scientific theories about the possibility of falling into a black hole and emerging in another space-time on the other side, should you somehow avoid being torn asunder by the intense gravitational forces. However, that's clearly possible in the Star Fox universe, given the fact that you can not only enter the black hole, but emerge from it at a different point unscathed. What if Fox's father was pulled into the same black hole? There might have been other exits, possibly one to another dimension, like, say, the universe of F-Zero. It might sound crazy until you consider another piece of evidence contained within the SNES Classic. The second level on Route 3 is also called the Asteroid Belt, like its Route 1 companion, and it also contains a big secret, another hidden zone. Early on, Fox will come across giant asteroids on the left and right sides of the screen. Pass by the first one on your left and then target the second one on your right. Blast it until it stops moving and explodes. An egg will then launch out and hatch, revealing a strange bird-like creature. Fly into the bird to be whisked away to an unmarked part of the game map. Welcome to the level called Out of This Dimension. It's even more bizarre than the awesome black hole, sporting a distorted background comprised of planets with faces and 5-pointed stars. The only enemies are paper planes and an incredibly weird boss, a functional slot machine. The only way to defeat the boss is to land on all 7s, triggering a jackpot payout before being blown to smithereens. You're then treated to the credit sequence, followed by a set of 6 letters coming to rest on the screen. You can shoot these letters to alter their orientation to reveal a message: the end. However, doing this only triggers the letters to appear jumbled once again, and now Fox is caught in an endless loop, doomed never to escape this twisted reality. So, a level exists within the original StarFox that takes you out of the established dimension into a realm beyond the barriers of the known universe. While you don't access it by traveling through the black hole, it at least shows alternate dimensions exist. Thus, we believe it's possible that Fox's father, James McCloud, was sucked into the black hole as a result of Andross's experiments, but somehow managed to escape through an exit that took him not back home to the Lilat system, but to the dimension of F-Zero. Part of this story is also supported by the events chronicled in the official StarFox comics, published in Nintendo Power back in 1992. Within the pages of this comic, we learn the story of Fox's father named Fox Sr. He vanished into a black hole after volunteering for one of Andross's experiments, only to re-emerge in the comics twice. In his first appearance, Fox Sr. guides his son out of the black hole when the StarFox team travels through it, and a second time when he contacts Fox while traveling aboard an interdimensional spaceship resembling a whale. The comics are of course not the same story, but the events do match up well with what transpires in the actual game. Players access the black hole level in the asteroid belt, and the black hole is where Fox Sr. vanished. And though not exactly a whale, you do encounter a bird-like creature in the game that warps you to the out-of-this-dimension level, similar to how the ship in the comics belonged to a group of interdimensional beings. Given that these comics were created by Nintendo, it's not hard to believe that some of their story elements were connected to the games themselves.
Follow me, Fox.
The concept of Fox's father only being able to contact him through some form of special communication rather than being present in physical form is seen in other StarFox games too. In StarFox 64, James McCloud appears during the final escape sequence if you arrived at the final level via Area 6. However, after emerging from Venom's innards, James's ship mysteriously vanishes. Fox then dismisses the encounter when pressed about the matter by his friends.
What's wrong, Fox? Nothing. Nothing's wrong.
The escape sequence in StarFox 64 was also the subject of various rumors back during its initial run on the Nintendo 64. Some fans claimed you could unlock a secret should you beat James to the exit of the tunnel. Of course, no matter how hard you try, you can't win the race. The same cutscene showing James's R-Wing flying off will always play, no matter what. James McCloud would also make another appearance in StarFox Command. Fox, Falco, and newcomer Dash Bowman battle it out with enemy forces underwater in the seas of Venom. During this sequence, James McCloud emerges to assist the trio, though his on-screen icon is transparent. Once again, it appears as if only Fox can see his father, suggesting there's something strange about James's presence. Of course, Fox could have been hallucinating in both instances, or perhaps there's a more supernatural explanation, like it was the ghost of James McCloud. It's also possible that James can only communicate and interact with Fox's universe after becoming an interdimensional being, as suggested in the comic. There's also the existence of a cheat token in StarFox Adventures that contains a message from James McCloud stating he's been watching over Fox as he's matured into a leader, suggesting James isn't a ghost or a hallucination, but still alive and well somewhere. So, remember how we mentioned earlier that there's a racer in F-Zero named James McCloud? We think he's the same character from the StarFox series. In both F-Zero X and GX, James McCloud's racer, the Little Wyvern, bears an uncanny resemblance to the R-Wing space fighters used by the StarFox team, including Fox's father. Both vehicles were designed by a company called Space Dynamics and are powered by a G diffuser. The Little Wyvern is actually a modified version of the space fighter James McCloud piloted as a mercenary. Additionally, Space Dynamics is the name of the company established by the father of StarFox team member Slippy. Space Dynamics not only created the R-Wing, but the Great Fox mothership. There's more to our theory than just the similarity between the R-Wing and Little Wyvern, though. James McCloud's outfit in the F-Zero games is virtually identical to the one in StarFox, including the boots, pants, shirt, jacket, and even the trademark shades. Not to mention, James's hair in F-Zero GX is spiked in two directions, like the perked-up ears of a fox, and contains a patch of gray hair in the middle, just like the James McCloud of the StarFox universe. F-Zero's James McCloud reveals one of his inspirations for racing is his son, though he doesn't mention his son's name. He's also a member of a mercenary group called the Galaxy Dog Squad, a subtle nod to the StarFox squad name. And in the F-Zero GP Legend anime series, James McCloud makes an appearance in episode 33. During the episode, James has a flashback to his mercenary days, where he worked with a partner going by the surname of O'Donnell. This could also be a nod to the StarFox series, as there's a rival squadron called Star Wolf, led by an ace pilot named Wolf O'Donnell.
We'll just see about that, Star Wolf.
The links between F-Zero and StarFox extend further than just the McCloud family to include other circumstantial evidence involving a character named Octoman and a familiar pair of boots. There's also an ending in StarFox Command where Fox is so upset at the outcome of events that Falco convinces the duo to convert their R-Wings into G-Zero racers to compete in the G-Zero Grand Prix. Falco and Fox then race until the two eventually forget about their days as members of the StarFox team. The G-Zero racer and Grand Prix are clear references to the F-Zero series, though it could just be a parody. With so many different connections between the two series, it's hard to deny there's something going on here. What isn't certain is whether or not this is just Nintendo having fun with some of those Easter eggs. In an issue of Nintendo Power, the editorial staff fielded a question about the James McCloud of F-Zero and his connection to the James McCloud of StarFox. The staff replied that the connection was merely a result of the developers having fun, and that despite the two character similarities, there's no connection between them. However, as we've seen before, Nintendo Power isn't the final authority when it comes to game lore or development, so we decided to ask Nintendo directly about the matter. Unfortunately, our repeated requests for a statement or a chance to interview those involved in the creation and development of StarFox were denied. We tried reaching out directly to former development staff like Dylan Cuthbert of Q Games, but they were unwilling to discuss the subject without Nintendo's blessing. Given that there are no new StarFox games on the horizon, there's no foreseeable chance in the near future to interview the minds behind the StarFox series to get an answer. So at this point, all that we're left with is our theory, and no way to confirm or disprove it. There's certainly enough evidence to suggest a connection, but it could all just as easily be Nintendo having fun with fan expectations. We leave it up to you all to decide for yourselves what you want to believe, but if you come across any new findings, be sure to let us know. And likewise, if there are any new developments, we'll make an update like we always do.
Great Fox will cover you.
But for now, we can only wonder at what might be. Perhaps our dreams will come true one day when Nintendo reveals the two series are linked by announcing a new crossover game involving StarFox and F-Zero. Hey, if Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei can happen, anything is possible.